Hi, I'm Pete Waters. I'm the Newsroom Technology Manager at the Arizona Republic. I'm going to give a little demonstration of how CCI puts together our print product, and we'll use this today's front page as an example. There are four types of elements that come into CCI. We have stories that our reporters write, wire stories from services like the Associated Press or other papers like the New York Times, art like photos, and advertising. What CCI does is it allows a production system to meld all these disparate elements and put them onto a page form that we can then output for our presses. When you first log on to the CCI system, a reporter would see this, their user basket. This is where reporters would write their stories and save them. When a reporter wants to write a story, they call up this form and write inside of it. When the story is completed, the reporter would send it to an editor who would read through the story and make any changes or corrections that they see fit. CCI also allows for editors and reporters to communicate with each other in non-printed forms. Here are some notes about the story at the very top. Once an editor is done with a story, it would go to a copy editor who would actually write a headline and a deck and any cut lines that go with the accompanying photos. Another input for the CCI system are the wire stories. Here you can see stories coming in from all over the world, from the Associated Press, Los Angeles Times, New York Times. Here is what we call the photo pool, which is where all the photos the photographers submit, or the wire photos, end up in a repository within CCI. It's here editors can take a look at the different images, decide which one they want, pick black and white or color, and assign them to the page to be used. And lastly, and probably the most important, we have ads coming into the CCI system. Now, the newsroom doesn't handle the ads. That's handled by our ad layout system, or by our ad layout department. But you'll see that the ads come into CCI and they do appear on the page. Once the articles are written and the photos have been selected, a designer will actually start laying out a page. You see, they will draw an article and start assigning different elements. Here, I'm going to assign a headline, 30-point weight, to this and stretch it across, and that would be the start of my article. In the case of this morning's article, it would have looked something like this. Okay, as you can see, there's already an ad on the front page. That was passed with the page this morning, or earlier in the day, by ad services, by our ad layout team. And here's the article as the designer laid it out. You can see that you can actually edit the different elements. We'll take a look at this photo here. If I want to, I can change the shape or the size. After all the articles have been selected and all the art, and the designer would basically build one by one each article on the page. When it's been blessed by editors, it's ready for production to typeset.
Hi, I'm Michael Wallace, and I'm going to go over the procedure that we use to typeset and release the pages over to Deer Valley. Okay, to do that we can right-click and edit the page. When the page comes up, we check to make sure all the ads are in the proper place on the page. If everything looks good, on our end here, if it's a mixed ad, that means it's mixed between ads and editorial. If all the ads look good, we would release it by going to File, and then lock release and release the ad stack. When that happens, it then goes into the ad stack column to show that this column is released. And then the editorial room or the newsroom would then see that we are released. So when they get their editorial in the same page and they're done, then they can go in and typeset it by going to File, Typeset. Then they would release the ad stack and typeset all. And then this process gets it over to the Deer Valley for the plates to be printed.
As you can see, This is the finished product that we got this morning, and it looks exactly like we saw it on the screen.